and welcome to your favorite TV show, IDentities Umhlobo Nyaradzo, your show that talks about your social, economic, and political issues. When we hear about women in leadership, often we're looking at the beauty that often just comes with it. We hardly think about the challenges that they face. Today we want to talk about women in leadership. We want to hear the glory. We also want to hear the challenges that they face. And to talk about this amazing topic today, I have my beautiful sister, Tendai Madondo. She's the founder and director of Real Time Media. Tendai, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Nyari.
And we have Amy Baumhoff. She's the general manager of Wild Geese Lodge. And Wild Geese Lodge is the beautiful place that we always film identities from. And welcome to the show, Amy.
Thank you so much. It's very exciting.
Thank you very much. Tendai, women in leadership. What comes to mind when you hear women in leadership?
I think women are quite multi-socketed in both in terms of their societal standing,
right,
but also in terms of expectations
right,
at a variety of levels with regards to family, society, and even on a national level.
Right.
And I suppose what comes to mind is expectation.
Wow.
That even at family level, there's an expectation that if you're a girl child, you've got to fulfill the domestic expectations only.
Right.
That you've got to be performing duties that are socially constructed for you to fulfill. That even your counterparts, your other siblings, actually don't necessarily have to. So you often find in a typical Zimbabwean household,
right,
you've got the boy children sitting in front of the TV, watching soccer,
right,
and expecting food to be brought to them in the majority of cases. I know that is changing, but
right,
typically in traditional norms that we are socialized into, there's the societal expectations on girl children to cook, to clean, and to make sure that everybody's fed, watered. And even when you make a journey for a girl child in the morning up to evening time, it's very different, it's very long, it's very cumbersome,
right,
compared to the journey for a boy child.
Wow.
And then the woman at household level also has got expectations that are very different, that are very domesticated. And then when you step outside the household setting, then there's a completely different ballgame, because women are expected to perform, but at the same time they've got limitations, because we've got what we call the male boxes and the female boxes.
Right.
Hence, even now we've just come out of elections where people have been really unhappy with the female participation in public spaces. But that's because, things like support, financial support for women,
right,
they're quite constrained in the sense that you don't really have the wide support network that
right,
a male would have. They go to the club, they go for golf, they go to all these places that are quite male dominated.
Right.
So things that then affect men and affect women are very different outside. When you even look at the social institutions that are dotted across our society, like the church, for example, you do find that there's very clear and defined platforms for women and men. Majority of the cases, even Pentecostal churches that are just emerging now, you find that women are singing. Majority of the cases they're singing, the majority of them are actually in the choir.
And they're giving money
preachers.
also, though.
Exactly. So I suppose what jumps out when I'm thinking about women, I'm thinking about a multitasker. I'm thinking about having to jump over every milestone that is put and that is constructed in your absence, because we actually do live in a very patriarchal society. Do they feel
like those roles that you define from a family level to a societal level, do you feel like it's acknowledged as leadership, or it's just roles?
I think that's why oftentimes you do find that male are understood to have a lot of power outside their homes, but the moment they are in their homes, it actually is a domain for women to actually control and do whatever. So women actually have innate power that is within us because of our perspective on life. We bring a very different perspective to things. When you look at women in politics and women in positions of responsibility, even though there's not too many of them, but where you find women in positions of authority, they bring a very different dimension to it, because they are bringing the mother, the sister, the multi-socketed role, and all that. So that's what I believe about women. But it's not. I don't think we talk about it as much as we should. But where it is happening, you can see the change. It's all about the good and very, very vivid outputs that women actually bring out.
I hope that before we go on break, we'll be able to come back to you and say, of all those efforts that women put up there, is society rewarding them? Is the system rewarding them? But I want to come to Amy and say, At what age did you start leadership, and how has been your journey of leadership?
Okay, I think that I was probably about 17 years old when I started in a leadership role, and that's when I was selected to be a prefect at school.
Wow.
And I'm sure that many women leaders start out, somebody else identifies a character trait or a talent that they think that you might have, and then that's when you get selected to sort of start your development and your growth in leadership. So I started out, it was basically at school, and then further at university I decided to run for the student council there, and I was quite excited actually, because a lot of people put their trust in me, and I became the president of the student organization. So that's how I started in leadership.
So you started quite early. What are the glorious moments and the not so glorious moments that you have experienced as a female leader?
Not so glorious would be anywhere where there's a sense of failure and not being good enough.
Okay.
If you're trying to plan something and it doesn't become successful, I have a tendency to take that personally, and I think that sometimes it's a more empathetic character trait, that I think that women often have rather than men. We often take things, we're quite sensitive. So I think that was one of the things that was not so great, and I had to learn to cope with, and it was a challenge to face. And then in terms of glorious was basically just being able to earn people's respect, and to have my voice heard equally in life, as well as my male counterparts in the same organizations. So it was really rewarding to actually sort of achieve that point.
So all these issues that you've spoken about, what can women do? What can society do to promote women leadership, to recognize women even on a corporate setup?
I think the starting point is self-introspection, where you get to understand what are your strengths and what are your triggers. And if you've got any triggers and negatives about yourself, you work on them to ensure that you're able to maximize your potential. But also in understanding your potential and understanding your strengths, you need to be able to position yourself in a manner that you can be more useful, and then to be progressive in how you engage and how you network and how you leverage. You can't be in one place that you were 5 years later. You have got to continue to identify opportunities for yourself and go after those opportunities in a manner that is respectful, in a manner that also resonates with the society that you're working with. But at the same time, I think it's also important for women to upgrade themselves, from an educational perspective. It's increasingly very challenging now in this competitive environment on the job market, but also for people like us that have started our own businesses. It's important that you're able to network, and when you network meaningfully. Because oftentimes people go to conferences and then you go and talk to the same people that you already know about. But you need to, when you go to a conference, you need to identify if you're in cookery, where you're going in the next 5 years. So you go and meet with people that will assist and that will be important for the journey that you're going to travel. If you're in media like ourselves, you need to be able to look at, okay, so how do I enhance my media business? How do I network with people that are strong in marketing? But oftentimes, even on social media platforms, the digital platforms have been really significant in terms of ensuring that they're enhancing our businesses. But majority of the times, we spend most of our time just looking at what people are dressing, what people are wearing, and what people are saying about things that don't really concern us. And I think it's important that we are able to upskill ourselves and we are constantly informed about global trends in line with what we are actually working on.
Wow, it seems so short a segment, but we're going to go on a break. When we come back, we have an amazing woman, Fungai Ndemera. Stay with us, don't go away. Welcome back to your program, Identities Umhlobo. Today we're talking about women in leadership. We want to know the glorious and the not so glorious moments. And before we went on the break, I promised you an amazing woman, the woman that I adore, and yet so with so much humility, Fungai Ndemera. She's a successful global businesswoman.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Makadiko Zimbabwe Linjani. We are good. I'm so excited to be home. Kunundoku Mosha, Zimbabwe is home.
Right.
Born and bred in Remuka, Kadoma.
Oh,
and
wow.
I'm so proud. Kadoma, how are you? I'm so proud to be Zimbabwean.
Right.
And you know what? This is an amazing topic.
Wow.
Because Madzimai, our job is not easy. I will just give you a little bit of a background. Being a child born in a family in Vakawanda, struggling, being poor, not sure where the next meal is going to come from. So I can relate to Nemwana, which is Kana, who is in Zimbabwe today. Mama na baba maybe basataka pera. How do they cope? How do they manage?
Wow.
But what I know for sure is that leadership qualities, some of them, and for some people like myself, I believe they are inborn. Because those leadership qualities, they start when you're a girl child, doing those household chores, running the family when mama is not there or when dad is not there. Until the time when you go to uni or have a chance to go to school, work, it is inside us.
Right.
So it is important for us women and us girls to take leadership roles in the society. I was just checking when I was coming to this program to see in the Zimbabwean population, you'll be amazed that 52% of Zimbabwean population is women.
Yes.
48% is men.
Yeah.
Yet only 4.6% of women are on CEO stock
Leadership
market
positions.
board level. Why?
Yeah.
You know, that is really a challenging statistic, right? And so the issues are real because of our culture, because of our societal setup. The woman wears all these hats and nobody recognizes
But
it.
how did you make
Nobody
it?
recognizes it.
It's hard and we talk about it. But we want to hear, how did Fungai Ndemera kubva kuri mukoko?
Yeah.
How did you make it to be where you are today?
Yeah, so I think for me, it was the fundamentals that I had as a child. I knew that this life that I'm living, I don't want it. I don't like it.
Sounds like the story of my
I don't
life. I was
want
like,
it.
Dabo, nekumusha.
Yeah.
I grew up kumusha and I was like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Poverty is not my portion. And the word of God tells us that we can live life and we can live it in abundance. And so I realized that at a very tender age, from the age of 5. So I made that decision that one day, if I study hard, if I pass, education is going to be my only key to escape this.
Wow.
And so when I went to school, that mindset was there. When I was doing everything, that mindset was there till I did my nursing. And then soon after qualifying nursing, I believed that working for someone was going to get me there.
Yeah.
But I needed more.
More, wow.
I wanted more. So I got married young as well.
Wow.
And by the time I worked in my first year as a nurse, I left and went to the UK to look for greener pastures. And when I got there, I want to talk now, tap into the challenges of a woman. Now, we are not talking only challenges of a woman. We are talking of challenges of a woman in a new land,
Right.
where you are black, you're African, you're Zimbabwean, and you're a woman. And you have to fit in that society. And so as a woman, I believe that us as women, we've got it in us to be multifaceted, to be multi-skills. We can do it. Because I told myself, number one, I accept myself. This is me, Fungai Ndemera from Romka Kadoma. What do I want here in United Kingdom? I want to make money. I want to work. Because I knew where I was coming from. The only way I'm going to change my people is when I've got enough money, right?
Right.
So I went into business.
Wow.
went into
In the
business.
UK, that
In
is.
the UK, 1 year, exactly 12 months starting, I went into business.
Wow.
Yeah.
What challenges do you identify with women? How did you overcome them? What can also men do and other people do to make sure that the young woman who's listening today, who's in Kadoma, ari kushurugwi, ari osecholocho, can change their lives the way you transformed yours?
Yeah. So I think that self-belief is important. And so I think as women, if there is one thing that we can do, is to tell another woman and validate them that you're good enough. Because I remember when I was doing my nursing and when I was at Pari, there was one tutor I looked up to because she used to validate me and tell me, Mwanangu, you can do this.
Wow.
Mwanangu, you are good enough. Mwanangu, if you want to just finish your nursing and be a matron, you can do it, work hard. So we have those women in our pockets of leadership, but they are few. They are few because I suppose the journey to leadership as a woman is a difficult journey. Because while you are working your way up, nobody's acknowledging that you are doing it ethically.
Legitimately.
Legitimately. Right. Society always thinks that there are shortcuts that you took.
The beautiful women like yourselves.
Yeah. And that woman, she's working her way up because she's studying. While everybody is sleeping, she's working at night. Those are the things that the society doesn't see. When she gets there, other women who are behind her they don't acknowledge that. They don't praise her enough for her to feel that my colleagues, they believe in me. And so is the men around her. They want to take advantage of her. So this woman at the top, while she's in leadership and enjoying all the money, she is fighting and struggling internally. And in our local infrastructures, we don't have support systems for this woman. This woman needs to be in the boardroom at 8 o'clock. But this woman is the same mom who has to get the kids ready for school.
A husband who's been raised to say the woman has to look after you.
And it's the same one who has to cook.
Yeah.
So she has to take off that leadership director's hat when she gets home. And she has to become this domestic runner space. So a woman in leadership is taking a lot. And this woman is not being supported. That's why I think we have got fewer women at the top. Because while she's there, she wants to take another young woman with her. But does the other woman, the younger one, acknowledge that she's being genuine?
Right.
Does she?
Fungai, your story touches me. This is absolutely, we certainly will have more discussions, but when we come in the next segment, we want to say, then what do we do? What can we do to the young woman? Thank you for your story. Viewers, stay with us. We're going to come back in the next segment where we come back with Amy and Fungai together. Stay with us. Hello and welcome to your favorite show, IDentities Umhlobo Nyaradzo, your TV program. Today, we're talking about women in leadership, the glory, the gloom, whatever it is that they experience. We just feel that they have to be included because oftentimes we leave them out. And I'm joined by Amy in the studio, who is the general manager at Wild Geese Lodge. And I have my beautiful sister, Fungai Ndemera, global successful businesswoman. We're talking about the glory and the glamour and also the challenges that females in leadership positions face. Amy.
I think I can definitely build upon what Fungai was saying in the previous segment, where women are not empowered enough by other women. You know, there's a lot of times where when you are on your journey trying to rise to the top as much as you can, that other women don't recognize and appreciate you for what you are doing. And also, if anything, they try to bring you down sometimes because of jealousy. That definitely raises its head often with women in leadership.
Right.
And often, you know, when you are trying to be a leader in the business world as well as look after your home life, it is often, you know, you have to sort of, exactly like what Fungai was saying, you do have to, when you get home at night, you do have to get off your business sort of approach, so to say, and then become a mum when you're at home. And often people don't realize what a burden that actually is, but obviously it's an enjoyment as well. But it can be very tiring because you're expected to be
a super
go, 8 o'clock in the boardroom, like she was saying, you know, to be a super mum, to do it all. And often it can be taxing, but it's also very rewarding as well. And I think that one of the nicest moments is when people actually, I mean, like for example, being asked to be on this TV show. I had never really thought of myself much as, you know, as a woman that some other women might like to hear from. So that is really rewarding when other women recognize what you're doing. And that for me was a really special moment.
Wow.
So, thank you.
Well, thank you. And what would you want to say to a young woman who is watching you today, who aspires to be a leader?
I think know your potential. Don't think that just because you're a woman you can't do certain things. Know that you have that potential within you and work as hard as you can to achieve that potential and to realize that potential. And if you know you could do it, don't let anybody stop you, regardless of if it's anyone else. And
Well, thank you so much on that high note, Fungai. I know the time is never enough, but what is it that's on your heart that you can tell another woman who's in leadership, a male who works with women in leadership, and a young woman who's watching you from Rimoka today?
Right. So this is an amazing program because the woman and the girl child really has become the burden on my heart that us women in leadership, we have
I know
work
you're
to
doing
do.
some programs as well. So.
Yeah. So because the journey of leadership, believe it or not, it is a very lonely place.
Wow.
It is a very lonely place, like you said, because the men that you work with, they don't understand you. The women that are below you, they don't look at you in a much positive way. If they are only a few.
Yeah.
So you are struggling and you are choking up there. And so for me, I realized that it is important to try and bring other girls and other women with us. So to find ways of how we can do that. And at the moment, that's why I'm here, for example, on this trip, because I'm doing some projects here through our Dream Blazers Academy, where we do mentoring and coaching. I've realized that personal development is key. Because some of the women, they are damaged and the issues are in their heart and they are in the mind. So we don't see it in their everyday. Hence, the mentoring and the coaching comes into play because another woman is going to come with you. For the men that are watching, I would really want us to, I know culture is changing, but I suppose we have got to move very fast and facilitate in the workplace and recognize that a woman who is the only boardroom woman or one woman who's the only manager, how can we have structures within the business that support the woman?
Wow.
To the woman who is in leadership, I want to say that, my sister, I acknowledge you. I feel you and I see you. When we are damaged like that, can we form networks through which we can edify each other and share our struggles? A moment where we can spend a weekend together. If we want to cry, let's cry together. But at the same time, let's celebrate the joy that comes with having your own money.
We hardly celebrate.
You know, let's celebrate ourselves because nobody is celebrating us. So my sister was in the boardroom and was watching. I would say, let's do that. But at the same time, let's have the grace and let's be healed to pick up another girl.
Yes.
No
and
matter how much they've hurt us,
Yeah.
let's understand them that they are also struggling. The key is, if we bring more of those with us, there are going to be more of us. The 4.6% that I spoke about, we need to see that number increasing. And the only way that number can increase is when us who've experienced what's up there, now we understand, let's create networks and support systems that can bring the young girls.
And to the young girl who often sees you as a person who's gone up there illegitimate and who often harshly judge you as a female leader.
That's right.
What is your message?
My message to the young girls is that, girls, you can do things legitimately. Your brains is the most amazing tool that you have. And as a woman, we have power. We have power within us to create, to build, and to make things work. So really, I should say to the young girl, start looking at the woman leader in your workplace as a friend, as a mentor, as a mother, as a sister, who can support you to work your way up. And if you do that, you are going to end up on the top.
Wow. Well, I think this was super dynamic, super packed, ladies. Fungai, thank you for making time on your super busy schedule. Identities loves you. Amy, we appreciate your love, the love that we receive from Wild Geese Lodge. Every day we are here. Guess we're actually at Wild Geese right now. We appreciate you. We appreciate the friendship, and we appreciate the beautiful meals that you give us as well. But as we end, I loved the note that to the men, support the women. To the CEO, set up systems to support women in leadership and listen to them, love them, support them. To the female leader, reach out to others. We know it's lonely.
One more thing to add. Women in leadership, we need more women who are starting female-driven businesses. Because we can create businesses that is going to be specific and be in the favor of a woman.
You had it for yourself. Thank you. You had it for yourself, a call for more women leaders in leadership. And to the young women who are supposed to be supporting their sisters in leadership, there is a tendency to always be judging harshly of your female leaders, criticizing, the small things, focusing, measuring on minors. Let's support each other as women. Let's support each other. Men, we need your support. Parents, we need your support, but let's harness the power that's within us as women, as young girls, as we rise up. There is more, there's glory, like Amy said, to be had in leadership. As we end the program, as is our culture, we are going to read quickly from our viewers who have written to us and who are always watching us, watching our program. The number to get us on WhatsApp is on the screen right now. Be sending your WhatsApp message. You will be probably will be able to read from you on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Instagram. So I will read quickly today. From Chiedza Chakaraya from Kwekwe. She says, "Thank you, Nyaradzo, for this program. We are learning a lot. My sister, today I hope it was even better. We had dynamic women here." And then the next message comes from Forbes Maodzwa from Hazel Tariro. Oh, my name is Forbes Maodzwa, married. Oh my God, we love this. He says, "My name is Forbes Maodzwa, and I am married to Hazel Tariro Mangosho." What man does that? We love you, brother, man.
Yes, we love you.
And his message is, "Paneva manoto da slim bodies or big bodies. Why worry?" He's relating to the body shaming episode that we had the other week, where we had both full-figured women and slimmer women, and they were all sharing that they all suffer one thing or the other. And the brother man is saying, there are some who prefer slim, there are some who prefer curvier women, so why worry? Just look for that one who appreciates you. On that poignant note, we say goodbye for now. We'll see you next week. Stay well. Bye.